think women are only impressed by ripped abs, flashy cars, or some clever one-liner. Think again. What really sparks attraction isn't about showing off, it's about what's happening in her mind, not in your wallet or at the gym. I remember this one time at a friend's gathering. I noticed a woman completely tuning out the guys flexing and boasting. Instead, she kept leaning in, laughing, and giving me her attention. It wasn't charm, it wasn't looks, it was something invisible, something entirely psychological. Have you ever noticed how some men just seem to draw women in without trying? There's a reason for that. Today I'm breaking down 5 psychological triggers backed by real science, the exact switches in her brain that make her feel pulled toward you. No gimmicks, no fake lines, just hardwired psychology you can actually use. When applied correctly, these triggers make attraction almost effortless. She doesn't even realize why she's drawn to you. And here's a little secret. Women actually want to feel that attraction. You're not tricking her. You're simply giving her mind what it's already craving. Stick around until the end, because I'll share the one subtle mindset shift that makes all 5 triggers hit harder than anything else, a detail most guys completely overlook, but it transforms the way women respond to you. I'm James. Welcome to Stoic Psyche. Here we go beyond what women say they want and dive into what actually makes them feel attracted. By the time this video is done, you won't just understand attraction, you'll see it in action. Here's the brutal truth. Most guys completely miss. Attraction isn't logical. It's not fair. It's not about being Mr. Perfect. And it sure as hell isn't about bragging about your job, your car, or your six-pack. Forget all that nonsense. Women don't fall for checklists. They respond to hidden switches in their brains that you probably don't even know exist. Here's how it works. These triggers are invisible, subtle, and almost primal. When they fire, she thinks, there's something different about this guy. I can't explain it, but I want more. That spark doesn't come from your accomplishments or your paycheck. It comes from your mind, your energy, the way you carry yourself. And here's where most guys fail hard. They walk around thinking, if they just list their achievements, show off a few facts, or try to convince her why they'd make a good catch, they'll trigger attraction. Wrong. That's logic. And attraction laughs in the face of logic. It works beneath awareness, in a place where reasoning doesn't exist. It's raw, it's subconscious, and it's entirely psychological. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't manipulation. This isn't some cheap trick to fool her. It's about understanding her brain, how it's wired for attraction, and working with it, not against it. You learn these triggers, you use them correctly, and suddenly, she's pulled toward you without even realizing why. Here's where Stoicism comes in. A Stoic man doesn't whine about unfairness, or try to control what's outside his reach. He understands that he can't force attraction, but he can cultivate the mindset, presence, and behaviors that naturally ignite it. He's calm in the chaos, self-possessed, and aware that his value isn't dictated by her approval. That combination, it hits harder than any pickup line or flashy display ever could. So if you're ready to drop the illusions and see attraction for what it really is, stick around. I'm about to break down 5 psychological hacks that can spark attraction instantly. Real, science-backed strategies that make women lean in, pay attention, and want more, even if they can't explain why. Alright, let's dive into trick number 1, the eye contact secret. And I'm not talking about the lazy just stare at her and look confident nonsense most guys are doing. That's amateur hour, where you actually look changes everything, subtly, but massively. And here's the thing, 99% of men are completely blind to this. Here's the deal, when you focus on her left eye, you're tapping into the emotional, empathetic side of her brain. This builds a deep sense of intimacy and trust. Suddenly, she feels safe. She feels like you're speaking straight to her heart. It's that rare vibe where she thinks, I can relax around him, I actually like being here. Now, when you shift your gaze to her right eye, you trigger the logical, analytical side of her brain. Weirdly enough, this makes you feel bold, confident, even slightly dominant. It's perfect for teasing, flirting, and building that playful sexual tension, the kind that makes her lean in without even realizing why. Here's how you play it. Start with her left eye to build connection. Make her feel truly seen, like she matters. Then, when you want to raise the heat a little, slide your gaze to her right eye. For the advanced players, gently alternate between both eyes during conversation. It keeps her slightly off balance in the most magnetic way. She won't be able to explain it, but her brain feels it. Think about it. Ever notice why some guys feel safe and exciting at the same time? It's tiny, almost invisible signals like this that set them apart. Master this, and you'll notice the difference immediately. And here's a Stoic twist. The Stoics teach that presence is everything. A man who is fully present, calm, and in control of his energy without overthinking, without trying to impress, naturally commands attention. This eye contact technique isn't about forcing attraction. It's about showing up as a composed, aware man who understands the unspoken rules of connection. That's real power. That's magnetic. Alright, let's move on to trick number 2, the mirror neurons hack. And trust me, this one is straight up fascinating. Mirror neurons are these tiny brain cells that literally copy what other people are feeling or doing. That's why yawns are contagious, why laughter spreads through a room like wildfire, and why you can't help but smile when someone else smiles at you. Your brain is wired to mimic what it sees, and her brain does the same thing. Here's the brutal reality most guys miss. The energy you bring into a room determines how she feels around you. Show up nervous, insecure, desperate, or over-eager. Her brain will mirror that tension, and suddenly you've created awkwardness without even saying a word. But roll in calm, confident, and genuinely enjoying yourself. She'll mirror that vibe instantly. And when a woman feels relaxed, intrigued, and having fun around you, that's the exact soil where attraction grows like wildfire. Think about it for a second. Haven't you ever been near someone so anxious or stressed that you started feeling it too, even though nothing about you had changed? That's mirror neurons at work. It's subconscious, it's automatic, and the same principle applies to attraction. Want her to feel playful? You bring playful energy. Want her intrigued and curious? Carry that subtle magnetic mystery that makes her lean in, figuratively and literally. Here's the key: be intentional. Don't approach every interaction like it's a job interview where you're begging for approval. That's amateur hour. Lead with the energy you want her to feel: fun, light, relaxed, confident. Make it a vibe, not a performance. When you do this, her brain can't help but follow, and that, my friend, is how you flip her natural wiring in your favor. And here's a quick Stoic perspective. A Stoic man doesn't get rattled by external pressures. He understands that his inner state is his domain, and he radiates that calm confidence effortlessly. Women respond to presence, not desperation. By mastering your energy, your mental state, you're not just attracting women, you're demonstrating mastery over yourself. That's the kind of magnetic force no flashy car, six-pack, or pickup line can replicate. Alright, let's dive into trick number 3, the psychological reactance principle. This one is a real game changer, and it comes straight from a branch of psychology called reactance theory. Here's the raw truth: whenever someone feels their freedom is being limited, they want it even more. Simple as that. People crave what they can't easily have, and in dating, that principle becomes a weapon if you know how to wield it. Think about it. The guy who's always available, always eager, always saying yes, he's dead on arrival. Attraction, gone. There's no challenge, no tension, no spark. She knows she can get him anytime, and that kills the mystery. That's the brutal reality most guys refuse to face. Now contrast that with a man who's fully living his life, hitting the gym, crushing his goals, mastering a craft, enjoying hobbies, expanding his world. He's not at her beck and call. He's not constantly texting. He's not rearranging his day just to accommodate her mood. And that's magnetic. Because here's what happens. She starts wondering, why isn't he dropping everything for me, like every other guy? What's going on in his life that's so compelling? That curiosity sparks desire. She wants your attention because she has to work a little to earn it. And that, my friend, is pure psychological leverage. Now let me be crystal clear. This isn't about playing mind games or being cold-hearted. It's about living a life that excites you and letting scarcity happen naturally. You're busy pursuing your mission, your passions, your path. Scarcity isn't forced, it's earned, and women feel that energy. Practical moves. Don't text back immediately every single time. Don't cancel your workout or ditch your friends just because she wants a last-minute hangout. Show interest, yes, but never desperation. That subtle tension, that little push and pull, is what keeps her leaning in. And here's the Stoic layer. A Stoic man understands his own value and doesn't bend to external approval. He isn't enslaved by anyone's expectations. He knows that attraction isn't something you can make happen with effort. It's something that emerges naturally when you're fully engaged with your own life. That calm, unshakable presence, that's irresistible. The brutal truth: women aren't drawn to men who orbit their lives 24/7. They're drawn to men who have their own orbit, who live fully, lead boldly, and occasionally invite her in. That's when you become rare, and rare, always desirable. Alright, let's move on to trick number 4, the familiarity-novelty balance. This one's subtle, but trust me, it's insanely powerful. And here's the reality most guys miss. Women's brains are constantly running two silent questions in the background. Is this guy safe? And is this guy exciting? Miss the balance, and you're toast. Lean too hard into familiarity, and you're predictable, agreeable, easy to read, basically a snooze fest. She knows exactly what you're going to do, how you'll react, and it's boring as hell. Push too hard into novelty, and you're mysterious, unpredictable, maybe even a little extreme. That feels risky, unsafe, like she's not sure if she can trust you. Neither extreme works. The sweet spot, that perfect balance between safe and exciting. Start with familiarity. Find the common ground, shared experiences, small things that make her brain whisper, okay, he's like me, I can trust him. Maybe you both love the same TV show, grew up in similar towns, or share a particular sense of humor. Those little connections, they create a baseline of comfort, a sense of safety. Then comes novelty, and this is where most guys fail. Drop in something unexpected, something that sparks curiosity. Maybe you're learning salsa dancing, took a trip to some off-the-map location, or collect something quirky, like vintage maps or vinyl records. That twist, her brain lights up. She notices, she remembers, she wants to know more. Here's another way to play it in conversation. She shares an opinion. Agree first. That's familiarity. Building rapport and comfort. Then throw in a playful or surprising perspective. That's novelty. The little twist that keeps her on her toes, guessing, intrigued. It's like a mental dance, push and pull, safe and exciting. The effect, she feels relaxed enough to let her guard down, but curious enough to lean in. Later, when she's alone, scrolling her phone, your name pops up in her thoughts. That subtle subconscious pull is exactly what creates, I can't stop thinking about this guy. And here's the Stoic perspective you can weave in naturally. A Stoic man doesn't frantically chase attention. He understands that attraction comes from presence, consistency, and an internal sense of purpose. By combining comfort and curiosity in your interactions, you're not manipulating, you're embodying a mindset of mastery over your own energy. You're safe, reliable, yet layered with complexity. That's magnetic, that's irresistible. All right, let's dive into trick number 5, the selective validation technique. This is where most guys completely crash and burn. They give out compliments like candy on Halloween. Everything she says or does gets a mindless, yeah, you're amazing, or wow, you're so pretty. And guess what? When you validate everything, your words lose all meaning. They become invisible. She hears them, but her brain doesn't register them. Power gone. Attraction gone too. Here's the secret. Selective validation. Only give it when it matters, and when it's earned. Compliment her choices, her judgment, her effort, not just her looks. Saying, you've got amazing taste in music, hits way harder than you're so pretty. Why? One shows you notice her mind, her personality, her decisions. The other is just something she was born with, and let's be honest, anyone can say it. Now here's where it gets spicy. Sometimes hold back. Be playfully challenging. Let's say she brags, I'm really good at cooking. Don't gush. Don't automatically validate. Smile, lean in slightly, and say, prove it. What's your signature dish? Boom, the dynamic flips. Suddenly she's working to impress you. And that, my friend, is attraction in action. This approach does two powerful things. 1, your approval becomes valuable because it's not automatic. 2, it creates curiosity and tension, making her want to earn more of it. People, women included, naturally crave what they have to work for. Easy access kills desire. And here's the Stoic angle you can subtly weave in. A Stoic man doesn't hand out validation just to feel liked. He observes, he assesses, he rewards wisely, because his energy is scarce, deliberate, and purposeful. By giving only what's deserved, you're not playing games, you're embodying a mindset of discipline, presence, and value. That calm, measured confidence, that's magnetic, that's irresistible. So remember, selective validation isn't just a trick, it's a power move. It creates tension, sparks curiosity, and builds real subconscious attraction. Done right, women don't just notice you, they feel drawn in without knowing why. Alright, bonus trick number 1, the dopamine spike technique. Before we wrap things up, here's a powerful bonus most guys never even think about. Dopamine is your brain's feel-good chemical. It pops up whenever something feels exciting, fun, or a little unpredictable. Here's the key. If you can become the source of her dopamine spikes, she'll start craving your company. How? It's simpler than you think. Drop little surprises into your interactions. Maybe switch the topic in a playful, unexpected way. Crack a clever, teasing joke. Or suggest something spontaneous, like grabbing dessert from a random food truck instead of heading to some fancy restaurant. These tiny surprises keep her brain alert. Every mini dopamine hit she gets starts linking you to excitement and reward. Over time, she won't just like being around you, she'll feel drawn to it. Science backs this up. Our brains chase unpredictable rewards way more than predictable ones. That's why slot machines and social media hook us so hard. The same trick works in dating. Don't be just another predictable guy. Be the one who gives her that little rush, and trust me, she'll notice. Alright, bonus trick number 2, the vulnerability strength paradox. This one's deep, and when you get it right, it's insanely attractive. Most guys think they have to choose, either be super macho and stoic, or soft, sensitive, and vulnerable. Here's the truth. Real attraction happens when you mix both. Showing strength, confidence, direction, leadership makes her feel safe. but adding a touch of vulnerability, sharing a personal story, admitting a fear, letting her see your human side, creates emotional intimacy. Think about it, a guy who's only tough all the time, distant, hard to connect with. A guy who's only vulnerable, feels weak, like he can't handle life's challenges. But a man who's strong and human at the same time, magnetic. Example, you're confident chasing your goals, but you admit you sometimes doubt yourself, or share a lesson from a past failure. That combo makes you relatable and trustworthy without losing respect. Science backs this up too. There's something called the pratfall effect. Showing small imperfections actually makes your strengths feel real and authentic, not fake. So here's the takeaway. Don't hide behind a mask of perfection. Show her you're strong enough to lead, but real enough to feel. That mix, absolutely irresistible. So now you've got the 5 psychology-based triggers that can spark attraction instantly. 1. The eye contact secret, using your gaze to create connection and tension. 2. The mirror neurons hack, setting an emotional vibe she can't help but mirror. 3. The psychological reactance principle, making scarcity work in your favor. 4. The familiarity novelty balance, being both safe and exciting at the same time. And 5. The selective validation technique, making your approval feel rare and unforgettable. These aren't cheesy pickup lines, they're real, science-backed levers that work with how the female brain is wired. Use them right, and women don't just notice you. They feel something they can't even explain. That's the magic, the bigger picture. But here's the thing, guys, these 5 tricks are just the starting point. Attraction isn't about random moves, it's about understanding the system behind chemistry, spark, and desire. Without attraction, there's no chemistry. Without chemistry, there's no spark. And without spark, you're stuck in the friend zone. The real game changer is understanding how to combine these triggers naturally, how to flirt in a way that's effortless, fun, and authentic, how to build sexual tension without feeling forced, and how to develop the mindset that makes you magnetic, without memorizing lines or pretending to be someone you're not. Imagine this, no more awkward silences, no more guessing if she's into you, no more chasing. You walk into a room, and women feel your presence before you even say a word. They lean in, they remember you, they can't stop thinking about you after you leave. That's the power of using psychology over cheesy pickup tricks. Master it, and everything changes. Alright, now that you know these 5 psychological facts that turn her on more than sex, here's the thing, we've only just scratched the surface. If you really want to drive her wild, make her crave your attention, and trigger desire like clockwork, you need to see the next layer of psychological triggers in action. Check out the video that's popping up on your screen right now, 10 proven ways to drive her wild with desire, psychological triggers women can't resist. Trust me, this is where you take everything you just learned and turn it up to 11. Click it, and watch how the dynamics shift in real time. And before you go, make sure you do the basics too. Hit that like button. If this video gave you real insights, subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into female psychology, and drop a comment below telling me which of these 5 triggers you're going to start using first. Remember, attraction isn't random, it's psychological, predictable, and absolutely masterable when you know how. Go check out that next video and start creating desire like a man who actually understands the game.